What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Let's Play Silent Hill 3. In the last episode, we explored the Hilltop Center a little bit, found ourselves a badass katana, and now we are going to be moving on to the next section of the Hilltop Center. Is this a reception area? Sure, why not? Oh, right, there is one important item in here. We have, beef jerky. Well, questionably important. Oh, wait, skip too fast through that. Okay, none of this is important. Or interesting, anyway. This is a little bit interesting, though. We have in the middle of this room a bloody bathtub. There's a dark red, mysterious stain. I wonder what that could be. And I'm pretty sure nothing in here except for another bathtub. So let's turn the handle.
I knew it. No, not again. Did she do this too?
It's being invaded by the other world. A world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life. That is a quote from Harry in Silent Hill 1. What it's doing here as we enter the Otherworld version of the Hilltop Center is a mystery for... well, that mystery is actually going to be answered soon. We have another wheelchair, and in it is a little doll continuing the recurring motif in this game of childbirth. And this guy over here, he looks a little bit like Valtiel, but I don't think that's him. I think that's just a corpse with Valtiel's robes or bloody apron, which actually looks a lot like pyramid heads. And there's a very interesting reason why those two look alike, which I'll explain later. For now, though, we're actually coming up on a cutscene with a new character. Find the Holy One, kill her? And there's a picture of Heather. That's me. Who could have taken this photo? So, were those instructions left for Douglas Cartland? We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, let's go meet Vincent.
Heather. That's what you're called now, isn't it?
And who are you?
The name's Vincent. Don't forget it, okay? I'm on your side.
So you say. But how do I know you're not with her?
Her? You mean Claudia? Please don't lump me together with her. She was totally brainwashed by that crazy old hag. Well, I guess crazy old hag is a bit harsh. She is your mother, after all.
My mother? What do you mean?
You don't remember? Ah, so Harry didn't tell you anything. I guess he hid the truth to keep you on his side. Hey, that figures. He's a pretty sneaky guy.
Don't talk about my dad like that!
Sorry. I apologize. Please, calm down.
How do you know my father anyway?
I know everything. I know about your past, too.
Then tell me what's going on.
You don't know even that?
That's why I'm asking. If you know everything, then tell me how I can put an end to this.
Not yet. Why not enjoy yourself a bit longer?
Enjoy? I feel like I'm going crazy. Does this place get to you at all?
Oh, it gets to me, all right. I find it most fascinating. Wait! I'm not finished talking!
I knew you were on her side.
How do you figure?
There's something wrong with you, too.
So real quick, as we exit the room from the cutscene, we'll pick up some hydrogen peroxide. I think it was called oxidol. There. If you try to re-enter the room that you exited from, Heather will say something like, I'm not going back in there with that creep. Also, I thought there was supposed to be a note or something around here. So I'm just rubbing my face against everything. Yeah, there it is. That weird guy is in there. That weird, creepy fellow was Vincent, who had a ton of important stuff to say. For instance, when Heather introduces herself as Heather, he says something like, "Oh, that's what you're called now?" implying that she used to have a different name, deepening the mystery about Heather's mysterious past. He also seems to know Claudia and says that Claudia was brainwashed by that old hag. But that he shouldn't talk about that old hag like that because she's Heather's mom. Vincent also says something like, your dad Harry hid the truth. He spells a lot of things out for us right there. But we'll get an even clearer picture very, very, very soon. Just as soon as Heather makes her way home. So we'll keep playing along and not spoil the mystery for just a bit longer. If you try to exit the Hilltop Center early, this horrifying looking monster bars your path. So let's read the fairy tale. Once upon a time, there was a monster living at the gates of a village. It was a very scary and a very bad monster. It would catch people and crunch them up with its big teeth. The villagers were afraid of the monster, and no one would dare approach the gates. Everyone was stuck inside the village. When the king heard about this, he summoned his knights. The knights eagerly rode out to defeat the monster. Ha! Take that! Their swords slashed and their spears flashed, but the monster wouldn't die. The monster tossed the knights into its mouth one by one, horses and all. What was the king to do? He fretted and fussed and paced the floor, but could think of no solution. Soon after, the village priestess came to the castle. She was a very kind and good person. The king asked her to defeat the monster guarding the gates. The book's torn, pages are missing. Heather remembers reading this a long time ago, but she doesn't remember how it ended. So as we progress through the Otherworld Hilltop Center, we will get more and more fragments of the fairy tale about the monster that guards the gates, the monster that's literally preventing us from leaving this village. This, giant village. And here we have an insane cancer lying down. I think all of the insane cancers in the game, you first encounter them sleeping. I think that actually makes them really a lot more creepy because it conjures up images of tumors lying dormant in you, just waiting to become malignant. and metastasize and just kill you. Ooh! Usually, I can pick up the shotgun shells without waking the insane cancer up, but just run away. Those things are too durable to worry about trying to kill. Now we're heading back to the elevator. So the third, I think the button for the third floor is broken. The fourth floor, there's nothing on it, so we're going to head up to the fifth floor. And I think we are going to be encountering a couple new monsters up here. The last time we encountered a new monster was the introduction of the insane cancer in the subway. The enemies that we're going to be encountering here, oh, there's the noise, are much scarier, much more dangerous, much more annoying, because you typically encounter them in very tight spaces. They make some really, really gross, scary noises, and they trip you, and they just run all over you while you're down on the ground. Here we'll find a matchbook. The matchbook is going to be used in combination with the last two items we found, the oxidol, and ooh, the slurpers moved up close to the door. And back up and try to get around them in this hallway. Oh, there's two. Shit. As soon as they can even come close enough to just nip at your ankles a little bit, they will knock you down. This is a very blatant reference to Session 9. That shot of the wheelchair in the distance in the hallway appears almost exactly like that in the movie. Been thinking a little bit about what the wheelchairs might represent. I think they are scattered throughout Silent Hill so often, and they recur so often because they represent, like, decrepitness and physical decay. No new message on the halo of the sun. And if you check the map, we are actually back in the art gallery. Yep, the Gallery of Fine Arts. Before we came through here, there was a painting missing. Flame purifies all. By these remains may a person find the road to paradise. Seen this picture before? No. Actually, you haven't, Heather. When we came through here in the normal world, that painting was the one that was missing. And so, since flame purifies all, we are going to combine the matchbook, the liver, and the oxidol in this bucket, doing some more amateur chemistry. When you combine those three items together in the bucket and you burn away the painting, it reveals a doorway that leads down here. This actually reminds me a lot of the Nightmare Elementary School from Silent Hill 1. The entire layout of this place actually is reminiscent of it. One second though, we have another fairy tale. The priestess accepted the king's request and went to the village gates, but when she saw the monster, she tried to convince it with words instead of killing it. "Shut up, you. I'm going to eat you up." The monster didn't listen to a word the priestess said, but she kept trying to convince the monster to give up. It's wrong to eat people, you know? So weird. The monster grew very angry at this and attacked her, killing her with a single mighty blow. And the fairy tale is still not finished. There is one more section of the fairy tale. And the fairy tale, it's actually pretty important to find all of these sections. Usually when you find something like this, it's giving you a hint as to how to deal with a boss or something. In this case, you actually need to read, I think at least, oh god, there's a lot of them in this hallway. You need to read at least the final, holy shit, there are 4, the final fairy tale. In order to trigger a cutscene that gets, well, you'll see. it's actually necessary to read all of these, or at least the last one. So I'm gonna heal up. Oh, I have 18 health drinks. Doing way better on those than I thought. I underestimated how many I had. Oh god, the slurpers are really, really annoying. Doesn't help that I'm responding to them, well, pretty much incorrectly. I'm trying to back up, which is too slow. You can either kill them, they take a lot of hits to go down, or you can try to bypass them, which is kind of what I've been doing. You bastard! I didn't even see him there. Oh, well. It's tough to bypass them. They take a lot of hits to kill. They're just generally pretty annoying enemies. They're some of the tougher enemies out of anything in the first 3 games, to be honest. They're harder than a lot of the first 3 games bosses. And they make that just perfect, unnerving noise like everything else in this game. Such excellent sound design. They make that sound like bones popping or cracking. Anyway, thus one's life turns to riches. What was a bag of silver coins is now the number in a book. Yet fate hath no price. But do people know this? So, let's see. Just a plain old vending machine. Heather's a bit thirsty, so since we just picked up a silver coin on the table behind us, we'll use that silver coin. Get Heather something to drink. Now from that can, we pick up the life insurance key. There's a tag on the key that says Elberton Life Insurance. Elberton is a name that I don't think is too important. The key, however, is going to let us access the area where the last part of that fairy tale is located. The most important part of the fairy tale. And I'm going to equip the shotgun because I really don't feel like getting tripped up by this slurper again, and his buddies. He had a lot of friends behind him, but if I can just thin them out a little bit, not too bad. I don't want to waste too much of the shotgun ammo, because I'm going to need that in a couple of minutes. If you shoot them a couple of times, sometimes what the slurpers like to do is they like to play dead, and then when you come close to them to kick them and finish them off, they spring back to life, trip you, and then run all over you. Nasty, nasty enemies. Don't try to melee them, it's ill-advised. You can, if you're really good at judging distance with the maul, you can use the maul's overhead swing and kind of keep it max range, and that works okay. Generally, though, the shotgun can finish them off in 4 to 6 shots on normal. The handgun usually takes a full magazine. Which direction? I think this is the door I want to go through, right? Yeah, that's unlocked with the life insurance key. We have a bunch more slurpers in this hallway, which I'm kind of nervous about. There should be one right at where you round the corner. Yeah, let's try to get past. Yeah! Every time you manage to get around a slurper, it feels like a giant success. Okay, so the 2 slurpers back there were distracted eating some meat. Let us slip into this room. There's the fairy tale. The king and his people shed tears at the death of the kind priestess. God took pity upon them, and granting their wishes, healed the priestess. The priestess opened her eyes just as she had done every morning of her life. She went once more to the monster's lair. Fool, you wish to die again? No, this time it's your turn. The priestess had come to defeat the monster once and for all. As the priestess was very, very kind, she felt sad about this task, but it had to be done. Swords and spears won't work. Arrows and bullets will just bounce off. You can't kill me, the monster laughed. But the priestess used neither sword nor spear. She chanted but a single spell. Tu fui Ego Eris. Do you know what happened then? The monster let out a huge cry and then died and vanished. Thus, the villagers were able to use their gates once more. Everyone lavished their gratitude upon the priestess, and they all lived happily ever after.
Tu fui ego eris. Weird writing. What was that?
That phrase that Heather was speaking in Latin means, as you are, I was, as I am, you will also be. And it is the spell that the priestess used to banish the monster guarding the townspeople's gate. So, let's go back out into the main hallway and see what it did for us. As was the case with the priestess, Heather chanting the magical Latin phrase was able to get rid of the monster, and now we are, for the first time really, out onto the streets proper. But remember, these aren't the streets of Silent Hill yet. As far into the game as we are still not yet in Silent Hill proper. Actually, a giant chunk of the game, most of the game, takes place outside of Silent Hill, much like Silent Hill 4. We will get there eventually, though. So we are now at the Daisy Villa apartment, which, remember, is where Heather stays. All of these doors are locked. Sorry, just sneezed. I sound a little raspy. All of these doors are locked, but remember, we have the house key for one of them. 102. So we are looking for apartment number 102. It is at the end of this hallway, or near the end of it. Apartment 102 is right here. However, we are not going through there just yet, because that will set some events in motion that we will deal with at the beginning of the next episode, where we are going to get some fairly big revelations, and we are going to fight our second boss. And then after that second boss fight, we will finally be able to make our way down to the town of Silent Hill. So until then, thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.